What a normal corrugated, now we go box corrugated, as we go what a doomerang. Ayuari aye chigech emerunge tato, asama mati aye chigech emerunge bire na Isano na Isato, mbabwate tile profiles, alia a oriental, elegantal, versatile grows, na we go na versatile mat. MRM niko wate lifestyle ayuago chana Roman Jinko na we go web design wate ligani kabwate chikala bunabone lia chako gray, brick red, tile red, maroon, sky blue na we go na green obutambe gwe mabwate liga niko bokolenga na amo nukuganya gwe customer mbabwate bintu bindi go igo ebyo ochikunyara kabogo tumika chinga gicho gwakira nyamabwate liga ase nyumba yao tutari lero ase ouru MRM showroom onyare kabogo kwerera amabate yu akomenya segeka ayo uchanye warrant na wigo ayo orakoberwa ikasule asobwango edukenyega ya ouru superstores yego toka se enyumba ya ouru complex imiyumu chuligo busongo iyo erangene duka ya Safaricom wigo ngotoka bari ase nyumba ya JM Towers iyo ere angene bengi ya Credit Bank asamange bakere simgwetra aseti namba chabo 0111161500 Ouru Superstores, the people's choice, guaranteed lowest prices. Karibu nyumbani.
Vipi, mbona mbota hapa? Nini shida?
Unajikuta nani mshikaji wangu? Yaani unaweza ukavaa ujasiri kiasi cha kwamba unaweza kutoka na wadogo zetu kwa mada zetu ambao tunawategemea baadaye waje kuwa watu wakubwa, afu unakuja kuwachezea kirahisi. Oya, omboi. Sikiliza nikwambie. Bi mkubwa anapata tabu kinoma noma kumsomesha ubinti. Si unanielewa eh? Mimi napambana kinoma noma na kaba huko mzee kwa sababu mdogo wangu mimi aishi vizuri. Afu boya mshamba kama wewe unakaa na pumbavu wenzako mnashawishiana kuja kutongoza dogo zetu. Hivi si wangu, naomba nikuulize. Kuna wanawake wangapi uko wanajiuza? Mpaka wengine wanatimuliwa katika madangulo. Serious, unakuja kutembea na mwanafunzi?
Mugaso gatana na gatatu mutinyo gatano mwaka chiribu bere merange bere netano mwanje muri Getembe TV bwerebuya erineri tukoria kabere engaki abakadno imeya mo meronge 3 na batatu imeya Vatican omochiori oromba soire asiri tukoria kabere rero kumuriga omupapa muyabwe Kirisi Katolika yora chekwera ribagari ya Papa Francis na boigo bunenchira yamo yo kumuriga omupapa muyora chekora ekerisi ekyo ase emyaka ere moto yamage ya Papa Francis oyore kora ekerisi ekyo gosirio bugima bwaye ewiki ya itonjenga treni Nyaboga pana pass nere kro studio kabira kwane kebuna chipiche china marengo ikaracha senchira yo wekero nukabana into weka omwario Ritukoria rero niko muraiwensi ya Kenya umuski Daktari wa Samuel Ruto ara omoyega wokobeka essay richi koria bantu bari bamyetano borema emergency ya Kenya muro osomoyega obaka okorekana ase nyomba yobora ya State House omoche o Nairobi abarai aona boigo abawazi kure serikali nigo baba bawikirana ase omoyego yochinga kichichu nigo muraiwensi akwanera are ase richi kerio ase boigo abeka essay ase richi kerio na koribeka bene gose
This law is both progressive in scope and progressive in vision. It affirms the rights of persons with disabilities to education, employment, healthcare, political participation, and access to buildings and built environments. It also mandates stronger enforcement mechanisms, clearer accountability, and enhances representation of persons with disabilities in both national and county governance structures. Beyond giving fuller expression to Article 54 of the Constitution, the highlights in the new framework includes a restructured National Council for Persons with Disability, devolution of functions related to persons with disabilities, recognition and support to caregivers, greater access to justice, and enhanced legal frameworks in respect of people living with disabilities, and robust economic safeguards. This includes exemptions and incentives for the benefits of persons living with disabilities to foster greater economic and financial resilience and to mitigate vulnerability. The law fortifies the legal framework protecting the rights of persons with disabilities by offering clearer definitions, strengthening protections against discrimination, and mandating the implementation of affirmative action measures across various sectors. With the signing of this law, ladies and gentlemen, the real work now begins. Its full promise cannot be realized by the National Council for Persons Living with Disabilities or the Ministry of Labour and Social Protection alone. It will require collective action by all stakeholders, including national and county governments, legislators, civil society, the private sector, and
Yoni chiava Kristo bekanisirie Catholic ensengimani go baganyerete nekere kenene oyorache gutangazwa koba umupapa osorache koba umupapa muya asobochori obogendete ase kaniseria ya 16 ime ya Vatican gose ase omochorom abakadino ime yamo 33 nigo baso ase ritko ya kaberero anemono ase egeikaro gya bobisi nabo igo kogendra gwa kachikura abunenchira ya moyo kumuriga umupapa oyorache kuirari bagari ya Papa Francis oyosire tubugima bwaye omotienyi obete kogweta ritko ritangani igoro nigo abapapa asaba kadi nabo bataikiraniti osabatanyorete konyora oyorache kuirari bagari ya Papa Francis magega yerio kirimwa mukorekana egento buna oseba asigati bari bakuriga chikure cyo oseba bari bakuriga ribagari go chikoba omupapa mbaikiraniti chikura chiri chibete chikoganirwa korende nigo abakadi nabo barake chikura ase ritwira rero nigo abakadi nabo barache gwaka chikura ase chintunda inyabuna bagete ngakeria bare kumuriga Papa Francis nabo igo Papa Benedict wa 15 naribona nige kagire gose nigo abakristo abo bagosabuna nigo mupapa arache konyorekana ritwira rero korende kara abetanyorekana nigo barache kogendra gwa kachikura cyabo mbakari yoki rirabu ryabeire rigosoko siryabeire rikorekana oyorache koba omupapa so yorache kuirari bagerio nigo arache koba omupapa bwechimi Ibere 55 na kabere gose papa number 267. Na ekero mujumbo kaspur omoske Charles Ongondo were agochia kweni warit kurarero oyobete ka goitwa naba ose obete ka koraswa amatuko makego aitre ensemeri osomuchwe Nairobi ritukorarero nigo mo inspector general wabanyanyimbo Douglas Kanja abaka kwanera chinyomba chiborari asa kwaneire ogoitwa ko moske were nabo igona goteba nigo bari babete bakokora obo ebibago biri babete bikomoita byabekirwe byara.
Honorable Charles Ongodowere, Member of Parliament of Focus Pool, which occurred on April 30, 2025. At approximately 7:40 p.m. on April 30, 2025, the Honorable Charles Were was fatally shot while driving in a white Toyota Crown along Gong Road, near the City Mushari roundabout in Nairobi. The vehicle had stopped at a red traffic light when a motorcycle carrying a rider and a pillion passenger pulled alongside. The pillion passenger approached the passenger side of the vehicle, fired multiple shots, and fled the scene on a motorcycle. The driver and the bodyguard, both unharmed, lurched the honorable member to Nairobi Hospital, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. A specialized team from the DCI Homicide Bureau, supported by forensics experts from the National Forensics Laboratory, was promptly deployed to the crime scene. The team conducted thorough examinations, collecting critical evidence that has significantly and advanced the investigations. Detectives reconstructed Honorable Were's movement from Parliament to the site of the shooting, generating the key leads that have helped identify potential suspects. The driver and the bodyguard were taken into custody to assist in the ongoing probe. On May 2, 2025, an autopsy was conducted at Lee Funeral Home by Dr. Johansen Odwor, Chief Government Pathologist, in the presence of the Director of Homicides Investigations, forensics experts, family members, the legal counsel, representatives from Parliament. The examinations revealed that the Honorable Were sustained 5 gunshot wounds, all entering the left side of his body. 2 bullets were recovered during the autopsy, and a third was found in the deceased's motor vehicle. These exhibits were submitted for ballistics analysis. Other exhibits collected at the initial stages of the investigations includes surveillance footage capturing critical movements before and after the incident, identification of a vehicle used to transport the suspects.
Wetsemi muske Julius Migoso gamba nigo akwanire grade na boigo chipointria aboro kiwa babwenete gwiki bunenchira ya moyo konyora mabaga City University emergency ya Kenya aseboiga akwanire namba ya University emergency ya Kenya gokwana bose Senate Migoso nigatebire nigo omwako yiga babwate amabaga chiri buchimi 35 korende omwako yeta nigo aboro kiwa chiri buchimi 45 nomo babete bakonyora grade kirigia C+ bune ose banyora babete konyora grade kirikeganere eri konyora swa City University.
The issue of transforming these mid-level colleges into universities, of course, came about because there was a number of students, as you very well know. The university spaces, if you remember, was that if people do exams and they're supposed to go to universities, what used to happen is you start from the position of how many spaces do we have in the universities for us to admit. Then you do a cut-off point and say, this year we are taking students from B and above. So you find that even the people who are actually qualified to go to universities were not getting the spaces. That is the basis upon which the transformation of these middle colleges to universities came about. But where we are now, the conversation needs to be had to confirm whether we have enough. For instance, this year, the spaces we have in universities to accommodate students, the available spaces are 305,000. The people who qualified on the C+ to go to universities are 246,000. That means we have almost 60,000 available space to admit other students. So the question would be, do we really need to do or create more universities? Because we are not getting enough students to admit. So it's a conversation that we'll have, and that each and every discussion. This is the rationalization, the discussion, the assessment that needs to be done, including the financial implications of it, to see whether it is possible to upgrade. But otherwise, currently we have almost 79 universities in the country, 43 of them being public, the rest being private. So we have enough spaces to admit all our students. So
Unenchera yamo yogo sira obocheno bigambiro na boigo chichera emergency ya Kenya nigo serikali yacha kire umorobero bokorikia abasibwa angechiribu 50 nomo emergency ya Kenya umorobero ribobo bwene umorobero osha gokwana ekerobacha geti umorobero yo anemono chera yabasubati yalangata egotoka muchu Nairobi nigo murike botambe wizara ya immigration umoske berio Kipsang na boigo murike botambe Nsemiria correctional services umusubati Dr. Salome Peako nigo batogire getambo kireke nakoteba iyinenchira yemo irachie gosira osekobeka abasibu abo asagi yake bocheno.
Every human being made in the image and likeness of God is sacred, is a soul, from womb to tomb. every human being is sacred. And this includes every person, even those serving custodial sentences. They are entitled to healthcare, to compassion, and to opportunity for rehabilitation and reintegration. This principle is enshrined in the United Nations Standard Minimum Rules for Treatment of Prisoners, commonly known as the Nelson Mandela Rules. These rules remind us that all prisoners shall be treated with respect due to their inherent dignity and value as human beings. Prisoners should enjoy the same standards of health care that are available to the community. Ladies and gentlemen, since the initial rollout of SHA in November 2024, our officers have been working across the counties to register inmates into the universal healthcare system, which is one of the pillars of the bottom-up economic transformation agenda plan.
We are here today to ensure that the identity of all of us is appreciated, and that's why we are here to launch these identification processes for all our remandees, for all our prisoners, because we would want to maintain our identity as a country and our identity as citizens and our identity as humanity. And that is why all the IDs that may have been lost, any one of us who may not have registered, we are here to do that today. Now, we have engaged ourselves. We shall make sure that we shall do all the facilitation that is there for those who have not acquired the IDs. We are all aware our president waived the charges, and therefore today tunasema kila mtu atapata ID. And for those of us who have received their waiting cards today, Commissioner, I want to assure you that by
Togo chigokora muraiwe kia makire kia waipo muske Steven Karonso msioka nigo agokira na wego chengira emiaka emerongene asisiasa ukona asomo jigoyo Karonso niga kwaniri Chinsemo na boigo abarai bali abeire kakora na barabo emirimo anene mono oyo kabeire omurayo gatotobwensi ya Kenya omuske Nyagusira Mwai Kibaki.
I'll always be grateful for the privilege to serve for 28 years as Member of Parliament of Kitui North, as it then was, and Mwingi North, the longest serving after Presidents Daniel Arap Moi and Mwai Kibaki, as Minister in 5 substantial decades, as an Assistant Minister under the guidance of 2 great servants of our Republic, the late Honorable Ken Matiba and the late Honorable Justice Oletipis. As the youngest Deputy Speaker in Parliament, and of course subsequently, as we all know, as the 10th Vice President of our country. Your Excellencies, friends of Kenya, colleagues, the 4th and 5th estates, Kenya is currently at a crossroads, much like it was 5 years ago when I was first elected to Parliament, and then 40 years ago, I beg your pardon, when the repeal of Section 2A of the then existing Constitution of Kenya brought about a multi-party democracy. In 2002, when the NARC wave swept the ruling party, and the mother has just pointed out, I was the longest organizing secretary of KANU for 12 years. I wish my brother Gideon Moi was here. I don't think he was, he must have been a toddler. From 59 years of power, KANU was in power for 59 years. And the late President Kibaki famously was quoted as saying, bringing down KANU was like cutting the famous Kikuyu Mugumo tree with a razor blade. It can't happen. But it happened. And in 2000, when that happened, Kenyans were regarded as the most optimistic people in the world. And in 2008, when the violence following the 2007 election set off the most difficult events in post-independence Kenya, destabilizing and bringing to a standstill a nation state known until then as the oasis of peace in a turbulent region. Then diplomatic tact was required by the local and international political players of the times to get Kenya back on its track to its long vision path to socioeconomic prosperity, free from hunger and disease. Our sister Mother Karua again was there with a Kofi Annan-led peace process. The same is required, I dare say, now.
Enara yokore Ekeonga Chinsa Isano na Ibere asenchira yo wengeri tukirera ramis korende Chinsa ikomini nchikora naga yangore tara yo mona yande asenchira yo wengenda gutwara buri urubya asemurubya Getembe TV ko kwate nchenga tren Nyaboga.
Eduka yobomo ya Uhuru Superstores Limited nero eduka cholide iri kubatoka chirangi cha Crown Paints eyure e company nambe yemo iyo karose chirangi meyense yiga ya Kenya. Crown Paints nigo emanyira sokoro isya ebintu biriya bikomanya seka ngo kwanira chirangi ejo boyiko chire chichi brand ao ejo chire chingi ya kirage chirangi chiga nigo chire chibirengo ao punabono mbabwate chirangi cyo wakwa imeye nyumba iziko ye nyumba chire chikomentera nibwa amavuta yani oil ya buigo chiriya chia mache inyuranga chirangi chiga nigo chire kurwase chire chiri guririke iriya gatigati wekariguri iriya bantabati buigo imeya Uhuru Superstores nero eduka yuka iyo bwate emixer iyo wochoganya chirangi wikabunuragani wochoganiri erangi yiga aseduke yiga ya Uhuru Superstores na wokwege namuna ekale aho watagete nigo kwayanyora wikirano tutarire rero eriwe nyorere abamanyi naboigo enekenga enyumba yao use asomanyete use chire chibiasara nchibwa tokorelekana okuya na ayonsi nigo araikirane ekero utumikite chirangi cha Crown Paints eduke yiga ya Uhuru Superstores yego tokase enyumba ya Uhuru Complex imeyumucho yigo musongo eyuerange neduka ya Safaricom mwigo ngotuka bari ase nyumba ya JM Towers eyuere angene bengi ya Credit Bank asamange bakere simgwe terase chinamba chabo 0111161500 Uhuru Superstores, the people's choice, guaranteed lowest prices. Karibu nyumbani.
Uhuru Nyaboga.